Hi, it's Summer and welcome to my first video in our new apartment. This week Travis and I moved to Las Vegas, and so we've just been kind of trying to like get unpacked and get settled. The next project that I need to kind of tackle is setting up the bookshelves. I've been saving up these books for a haul since November, so I wanted to film a book haul before I started putting all the books away so that I could also put these away with all the other books on my shelves. The first book that I'll show you is Asterisk Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. My cousin Allie got this for me for Christmas. This is one that I've already read and I loved it, but I didn't have my own copy yet, so she got this for me off of my Amazon wish list. This is my favorite book out of this series. It has like interior design HGTV vibes. I love the chemistry between these two. They're going to be working together on like a home renovation project, and they kind of start off on the wrong foot. It's the cutest story, and Astrid is bisexual, and the dedication for this book says for everyone who figured it out a little later in life, which is me. So I just really related to this book. I love it, so I'm really happy to have a physical copy to put on my bookshelves. Next I have Hooky Volume 3 by Miriam Bonastre Tour. It follows Danny and Dorian, who are twin witches. The first book is about them missing the bus to magic school, and they kind of go on an adventure and they make a lot of friends along the way. But it's kind of turning into more like kind of like witchy politics and stuff like that, which I think is super interesting. And I'm going to be saving this to read in October. Next is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is a book that I'm so excited to read. My friend Jordan from Sorry Booked Solid gave this to me for Christmas. We did a little like gift exchange within our friend group, and this was the book that she got me. I already know that it's just gonna make me like bawl my eyes out, but I just know it's gonna be like a 5-star book whenever I get to it. Next is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. This is actually the first book that I read this year. It's a super cute, cozy fantasy about this like city of people that are nocturnal. So they do everything at nighttime. And this group of people have these like special moths that have to do like with their society and stuff. And there's one person that's in charge of being the caretaker for these moths. So in this story, we're following the new Moth Keeper. I haven't met a Kay O'Neill graphic novel that I haven't loved, and this is no exception. Next I have another graphic novel. This one is Snapdragon by Kat Lee. This one's kind of like a paranormal coming of age story. We're following the main character Snap as she befriends the town witch. I really enjoyed the plot and the illustrations and the queer up. After that I have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. This is the third book in the Love Light Farms series. It's one of my all-time favorite like romance series ever, and the fourth book in this series is coming out later this year, so I really need to read this one. I didn't really like the audio for this book, so I wanted to buy it physically and just read it with my eyes. This one follows Layla, who owns a bakery at Love Light Farms, and the back of this says that she learns to raise her expectations for love with some help from a handsome local teacher. I love food elements in books, so I have a feeling that I'm going to love this. Also just because it's a B.K. Borison book. I've loved everything from her so far, so I'm really excited to read this one. Next, I have 2 editions of the same book. And it's Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett. This was an easy 5-star book for me. It's a new all-time favorite, so I knew that I wanted to get both the US and the UK edition. They're both so pretty and they're both so unique, but perfect for the story. If I had to pick though, this one is definitely my favorite. Like, just look at this foiling and all the cute illustrations. It's just so pretty. I'll never get over this cover. This is the sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which was my favorite book last year. I actually got an ARC of this book, so I was able to read it a little bit early, and it was 5 stars, so when it came out, I had to get both copies for myself. After that, I have Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This cover is also really pretty. The inside flap says, "Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare." I think it has a contemporary setting, but I think it's gonna have like paranormal and like fantastical elements to it. And it also sounds like it might be a book about books, but it's following Opal, who is an orphan and a high school dropout, and she's taking care of her younger brother Jasper. This almost kind of sounds like a creepy, sinister version of The Wishing Game. I'm really excited to pick this one up. Next, I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Can we just appreciate how beautiful this edition is? Like, are you kidding me? The front says, "It's said that 5 belladonna berries are all it takes to kill someone." My friend Keisha from A Book Like You gave this to me for my birthday. This is one of her favorite books, and I've wanted to read it because of her, so this was the perfect thing that she could have gotten me. The only thing that I really know about this is that the love interest is death, and I'm obsessed with that. Next, I have Sweet Bean Paste by Durian Sugagawa. My friend Sandra sent this to me for my birthday, and I also forgot to say she sent me this book as well, which was so nice of her. The back of this says, a charming tale of friendship, love, and loneliness in contemporary Japan. And that's all I need to know about it. Next, I have another Kay O'Neill graphic novel, and it's The Tea Dragon Festival. My friend Zoe from Zoe Delaney gave this to me for Christmas. I already read this one and really loved it. This is the second book, I think, in the Tea Dragon Society series. It's just creative and cute and fantastical. The illustrations are beautiful. Next, I have The Roughest Draft by Austin Sigmund Broca. I love this cover. My friend Lena from Lena's Bookshelf gave this to me for my birthday. This one is about Katrina and Nathan, who used to co-write books together, and then they had a falling out. And then they are forced to reunite. This sounds so good, and I'm definitely gonna read this summer. Next is probably my favorite book cover that I own, which is saying a lot because I just have a lot of really pretty book covers that I love. This is Emma by Jane Austen. I'm pretty sure that I already have a copy of this book, but like, are you kidding me? Look at this. And like the back of it too. I want everything in my life to look like this book cover. It is just stunning and so my aesthetic. The bow, are you kidding me? The little strawberries. This art is done by Anna Bond, who is like Rifle Paper Co. And I just love everything that she does. I've never read this book, and I think that I've seen at least part of a movie adaptation, but I don't remember any of it. So I'm not spoiled for this book, even though it's like a classic. I really want to read this for Bows and Books because it's like literally perfect for it, but also it's really long. And I'm kind of nervous to like try to tackle an almost 600-page book in only a few days, like a shorter readathon, but like it would be so perfect for Bows and Books. I don't know when I'm gonna get to this, but I just love this cover so much, and I feel like I'm also gonna really like the book too. Next, I have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This one is also from Zoe. This is a fantasy book that's following the main character, Tress. She collects cups, which is the cutest thing ever, and she gets kind of wrapped up in an adventure where she has to stow away on a ship. So it kind of sounds like it might be a little bit like pirate-y, which I'm very into. She also needs to find the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. The inside flap of this says that she needs to leave her simple life behind and make her own place, sailing where a single drop of water can mean instant death. Like, what does that mean? I'm really excited to read this one. Also, these end pages. Also, there's like a picture of her. This is just like a beautiful book. There's also a really pretty special edition that I would love to get if I really like this one. Also, on the back of this, Brandon says that he was writing this in secret for his wife, but then she told him that he should like publish it. He says he wrote this one when there were no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on my imagination. Come be part of the magic. Next is a new all-time favorite book of mine, and that's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. And this cover is perfect for the book. This one is about Sam and Sadie, who were childhood best friends. They had a falling out, but then rekindled their friendship in college, and they start to make games together. This is set in the 90s and 2000s, so it's a really cool time in history to be following, especially as it pertains to like game design and stuff like that. This is so much more than that though. It's about love and loss and friendship and chronic pain, being a creative person. I just can't say enough good things about it. It's amazing and it will rip your heart out, but also give you a hug after. After that, I have Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I, for some reason, haven't read this one yet. I need to fix that as soon as possible, but I'm pretty sure this one is a prequel to Legends and Lattes. I mean, it's gonna be about books, and then I think she's holding like a pastry or something. So if this has books and like bakery things happening, I think it might be a perfect book. I think this one might be my like newest purchase, and that is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This cover is so cool, and I also got this edition with like the metallic blue edges. So pretty. I have heard nothing but rave reviews for this book, and I already know that I love Danielle L. Jensen's fantasy because I've read The Bridge Kingdom from her, just the first book, but I loved it. It was 5 stars. The inside flap says, a shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. Are you kidding me? This sounds so amazing. Next, I have another Love Light Farms book, and that's Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I bought this for myself back in December because I love this book. I read it for the first time in 2022, and then I reread it last year, and I didn't have a physical copy for myself yet, so I just had to get it because I love this so much, and I think it's gonna be one of those books that I like reread every Christmas because it's just that good. I love it. Also, these covers are just so cute. This one is about Stella and Luca. They are best friends, and they've been best friends for like almost a decade, I think. Stella owns a Christmas tree farm called Lovelight Farms, and she asks Luca to fake date her in order to kind of help her win a competition. That sounds kind of weird, but I promise it makes sense like when you're reading it. This is another one that I've already listened to on audio, but I'm so excited to have like my own physical copy now. It's A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey, and this one was a birthday gift from my friend Melissa. This is a YA book about a girl named Leela, I think is how the audiobook said her name. Her grandma just passed away, and so she's dealing with a lot of grief, and she's not doing very well like with her mental health and stuff. So her family's worried about her, and they decide to send her to England for the summer to stay with family, just to kind of help her like stay busy and stay doing things. And she ends up meeting a boy who works in a tea shop. This one is just such a sweet book. It also has a lot about like food and stuff in it, which is always one of my favorite things in books. Even if you're not normally a fan of YA, I would still maybe try this one because I'm not really a big fan of young adult books, and I loved this one. This one is another book from Zoe. It's the Selected Poems of Emily Dickinson. Look at this edition. It's stunning, and it's also very fitting that Zoe picked this one because I feel like this is very our aesthetic. I've always been a fan of poetry, but I've been getting a lot more into it lately, and I haven't read very much from Emily Dickinson. What I've read from her I've loved, so I'm so excited to have like an entire collection from her. Next I have Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. My friend Rachel got this for me for my birthday, which was the perfect thing for her to get me. We both love Heartstopper. I haven't read this one yet, but I feel like it's just gonna make me cry like out of joy. I have another Heartstopper book. This is Heartstopper Volume 5. I mean, I've already said I love Nick and Charlie. Alice Oseman can do no wrong. I loved the character development and the development within their relationship. I just want to cry just thinking about them. I love them so much. Earlier when I showed you my UK edition of Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, when I was ordering that one, I also had to get Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairies as a UK edition. For some reason they only had a paperback version of this one, so I think eventually I will get like a hardcover copy, but I at least have the paperback for now. It's so pretty. Like, I just can't get over it. This one follows Emily Wilde, who is a professor at Cambridge University, and she studies fairies and fairy folklore. In this world, fairies are like a real thing that people know about. So she's an expert in her field, and she's also compiling a bunch of research to write her own like encyclopedia of fairies. So to do some research for her encyclopedia, she's going to go to a small town and kind of try to interact with the townspeople and the fairies there. She also gets some help from a colleague of hers named Wendell. It's so good. Like, it's the epitome of cozy fantasy. And I also love the banter between Emily and Wendell. This one is another book from Zoe. Zoe spoils me. This is The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland, or Jacqueline Holland. This is one that I read last year but wanted my own like physical copy of it. I've heard this one advertised as Miss Honey from Matilda if she was a vampire, and I feel like that's really accurate. I feel like this book is kind of a mashup of House of Hunger, The Wishing Game, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So if you like any of those books, I feel like you would probably really like this one. I also really liked the audiobook for this. Next, I have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This was sent to me for my birthday from my friend Jasmine. The note also says it's from her dog Foxy too, which is the cutest thing ever. I thought these covers were like so cool. I grew up watching all of these movies, so I really love Lord of the Rings, but I've never read any of the books, and I would really like to. I don't know when I'm going to get to these because I'm kind of intimidated by them, but I'm so excited to have physical copies for my shelves finally. And then the last book for this haul is also from Zoe. This is called Oval by Elvia Wilk. I have had this on my radar for a really long time, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, and I don't really know what it's about, to be honest. I thought the cover was really cool and then just like randomly added it on Goodreads, like probably back in like 2016 or 17, maybe even before that. I feel like it's going to be a weird book, and it's also blurbed by Jeff Vandermeer, who is one of my favorite authors. The back of this says, "In the near future, Berlin's real estate is being flipped in the name of sustainability, only to make the city even more unaffordable. Artists are employed by corporations as consultants, and the weather is acting strange." When Anya and Louis are offered a rent-free home on an artificial mountain, yet another eco-friendly initiative run by a corporation, they seize the opportunity, but it isn't long before the experimental house begins malfunctioning. This sounds right up my alley. I'm really excited to read this one. I've said that for pretty much every single book, but it's true. I'm very excited about all of them. Okay, I literally almost forgot like an entire collection of books because I set them somewhere else in the chaos of the move. So I'm gonna go through them really quickly because my battery's about to die. But I have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I have A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. This is one of my all-time favorite books and I finally got a copy for myself. This is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 1. And this one was actually gifted to me by my friend Elise. Hungry Ghost by Victoria Ying. It's a graphic novel about disordered eating. I'm also pretty sure this one was from Zoe as well. And then this one is Beautiful Darkness, which is a horror graphic novel, which you wouldn't really guess from the cover. This one was a birthday gift from my friend Kayla. This was unhinged, but also really entertaining. Those are all of the books though. Thank you so much to all of my friends who sent me some of these books. It literally means so much to me that you thought of me and wanted to send me something. If you made it to the end of the video, leave a box emoji in the comments since I just really moved into a new place. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.
Appalachian sunrise.